Hello, I'm Katie McInnes, and I'm an Associate Volunteer Coordinator with Communities and Schools of North Texas. I am so excited to have you volunteering with us this semester. As a service learning volunteer, we understand that a part of your grade is dependent on your service with us, and that this is not the only responsibility that you have. This is why we want to make sure you are able to get started as quickly as possible. So today, I'm going to go through each step of our onboarding process so that you know exactly what you need to do to be able to begin working with our students. This process consists of 3 quick and easy steps. The first is an online application, the second is our new volunteer orientation, and the third is a criminal background check. Before I go into detail about these steps, there are a few things I would like to cover to help make sure there is no delay in the processing of your application. Due to the current pandemic, we are not facilitating any in-person volunteer opportunities. This means that you will meet with our students over a video call platform like Zoom or WebEx. Outside of these meetings, email will be the main way that we contact you. So it is incredibly important that you provide us with a valid email address that you check regularly. Also, unfortunately, our emails are often filtered as spam. So please make sure to regularly check your junk mail throughout the semester so that you don't miss any communication from us. Our elementary schools are always very popular, so they tend to fill very quickly. Because of this, we give priority to those volunteers who are willing to go to a middle or high school campus. This means that they will receive their campus assignment first. Additionally, we fill our elementary schools on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you complete any step of our onboarding process late, please make sure to select middle and/or high school on your application so that we do not need to email you later to let you know that our elementary schools have already filled. Because our programs operate inside of schools, either during the school day itself or directly after school, we do not offer any volunteer opportunities on the weekends. And our volunteer opportunities on Fridays are very limited. Typically, our in-school programs take volunteers Monday through Thursday from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., with the 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. time block being mainly at our middle and high schools. Our after-school programs generally take volunteers Monday through Thursday from about 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please make sure to consider this when you provide your volunteer availability on the application, as this is the main criteria we use to find the best school that will be the best fit for you. If your availability changes at all after you submit your application, please make sure to email us at volunteer@cisnt.org to let us know, so that we do not end up placing you at a school that cannot accommodate your schedule. We will always do our best to offer you a replacement if necessary, but providing a second campus assignment will delay your ability to start by several weeks. And unfortunately, at this time, due to the pandemic, we are unable to replace volunteers midway through the semester. In order to give you the best learning experience possible, you will most likely be volunteering half an hour to an hour each week throughout the semester, rather than completing your hours all at one time. The first time that you volunteer, you will establish a schedule for the semester that will allow you to complete all of your hours so long as you are honoring your commitment and making all of your meetings. To help us get you and all of your classmates started as quickly as possible, we need you to complete your application and orientation by no later than Friday, January 22nd, and start your background check by no later than Friday, January 29th. This will allow us to send you your campus assignment the week of Monday, February 1st. If you do not make these deadlines, we will not be able to place you until mid-February at the earliest. If you volunteered with us during the fall 2020 semester, you only need to submit another application to get started. You do not need to view the orientation again or resubmit your background check. Finally, if you have spoken with your professor and been told that you do not need to volunteer with us, please let us know by emailing volunteer@cisnt.org so that we know that we do not need to contact you, and we can instead focus on placing your classmates as quickly as possible. Now, let's go through our onboarding steps. Application should take between 5 and 10 minutes to complete. You can either access it by the link provided on your course's Canvas account or on our website at cisnt.org/volunteer. So as you can see, I'm here on the volunteer page of our website. And if you scroll down to where it says new volunteers, you'll see a list of our volunteer opportunities. Make sure if you access the application through our website that you select Service Learning Volunteer, because this application is specific for your needs. So if you click through to here, it will take you to the page for our Service Learning Volunteer application. You'll go over here where this orange button is and click Fill in an application. Now, if you volunteered with us in the fall 2020 term, or you applied to volunteer with us during the fall 2020 semester, you should already have a My Impact account. So you will use the I already have a username field to resubmit your application. If you don't remember your username and password, you can click Forgot Your Username and Password and it will send the information to you that you need. Or you can always email us at volunteer@cisnt.org and we'll be able to provide you the information. Now I'm going to go ahead and walk through the process as if I am a new volunteer. So I'm going to create a new My Impact account. So the first thing you'll need to do is create a username. The username needs to be specific to you. It can't match any other username in Better Impact system. So as an example, if you go to fill in a username and it's already been selected, the system will tell you that this is a username that's already in use. And it will eventually, if you click a couple of times and have some problems, let you know suggestions for unique usernames. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new username and then fill in my email address and then verify my email address. And as you can see, because I already have a My Impact account, it's letting me know that I already have an account using this email address. So I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway because the system will allow me to create a new account anyway using Save and Continue. So just click Save and Continue. And then it will direct me to the application itself. Now, if you already have an account, the application will not ask you to resubmit contact information. It will skip this part, but I'm going to go ahead and fill in this information. It will ask for a password and let you know if you have met the password requirements. And then you'll have to resubmit the password to make sure you know how it's spelled. Then it will ask for your legal first name. So just basic contact information. If you don't have a middle name, you can leave that middle name field blank. And then it'll ask for your address. So make sure that this is the address that you're living at. I'm going to be putting in the address for our offices, but for you, it will be your home address. And then your postal code. And then down here, you'll see your email address should already be filled in, but you do have the option to provide a second email address and a mobile email address. So if you would like to be able to receive emails on your phone, you'll need to fill this in, even if it's the same email as the one that you put in as your main email address. And again, It's really, really, really important that you provide a valid email address that you check regularly, because outside of your video call meetings with our students, email will be the main way that we contact you. It will also ask for your phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and put in phone number. And then it will ask if you'd like to be able to receive text messages, so you can choose to provide a cell phone number for that, or you can skip it. It also asks for some additional information like your online presence, so your social media information. We don't require that, so you are fully able to skip that. And then it will ask for your date of birth, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter a random date of birth here, but you'll need to provide your actual date of birth on the application. And then you'll just click the date, and then it will ask you to do the reCAPTCHA, I'm not a robot, to prove that you are not a robot. So you'll just select the images that it asks you to select, and then click verify so that it verifies that you are a person, and then you'll click save and continue down here. And then it will go to the additional information portion of the application. So this section you will see if you already have a My Impact account and you are resubmitting the application. It will show you this section. This will be the first page of the application that you'll be directed to. And any information that's already been filled in will be filled in here for you. So you'll just need to verify it. So you'll need to make sure that you check that your availability is up to date. You'll probably need to change that. And then down here at the campus level, you'll want to look and make sure that your campus preference is filled in properly. So first I'm going to go through availability. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, availability is really, really, really important to be specific about, because this is the main way that we place you at a school that will work well for you. And again, we are unable to facilitate any volunteering on the weekends because all of our programs operate in schools during the school week. And we have very limited availability on Fridays. So if at all possible, provide us at least some availability Monday through Thursday. And if you have any questions about it, if you click on this little exclamation mark here, it gives you a notice of what we're looking for in the availability field. It reiterates that we can't have volunteers on the weekend, and that it does also let you know that these timeframes are not going to be the whole of your volunteering. So if you give us a lot of availability, you won't volunteer for your full availability. We just use this as the basis for where we place you to volunteer, and then you will volunteer for a subsection of that availability. So I'm going to say I'm available to volunteer on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So this is an example of a really good availability just in terms of how specific it is. So when you're filling out the availability, try to give us the specific days of the week that you have time to volunteer, and then what those time frames are. Because if you say something along the lines of, oh, I'm available weekdays, or I'm available on Tuesdays, afternoons, and evenings, we'll likely need to follow up with you for clarity on when exactly you're able to volunteer, which means that you will end up receiving your campus assignment later because we've had to do that follow-up, which we generally don't have time to do until after we get our first group of service learning volunteers their campus assignments. So please make sure to be as specific as you're able, providing us with those times that you're not in class and you're not at work when you would potentially be able to volunteer. And then it's going to ask you what course you're enrolled in. So you'll just select the course that you're taking if it's one of our specific partnered courses. We have those pre-filled, or you can say other. So we'll say I'm taking Math 1350. Now down here, we ask what campus level you would like to volunteer at. So we have it divided between elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. And as again, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, our elementary schools are always our most popular for our volunteers, so they fill very fast. So we do give priority to anyone who is willing to volunteer at a middle or a high school campus. And we will get those people out first, just because our elementary schools are always so popular. And so if you are willing to volunteer at the middle or high school level, please put that on your application. It really helps us with getting campus assignments out to everyone. And if you do fill out the application or complete any part of the onboarding process later than those deadlines that we gave you, more than likely our elementary schools will be filled and you won't be able to go to an elementary school. So you'll have to go to a middle or a high school, which is why it's important to keep that in mind when you're completing the application, and to just consider it. After that, we do just ask for some volunteer demographics. So how long you've lived at the address you provided on the contact information section, you can just say, it's just years. If you're not quite sure, it doesn't have to be exact. You can kind of guesstimate. And then what Texas county do you reside in? It does list out all of them. So I'm going to go down here and say Denton. And there is some additional information just letting you know the county needs to correspond with the address you provided in your contact information. And then it's going to ask you with just some demographic information. You are always able to say that you prefer not to answer if you don't feel comfortable answering or you don't want to provide that information. That is always 100% okay. We always give the opportunity to prefer not to answer. But just go through and select your answers, and then the question with are you applying for an internship? Unless you are specifically doing an internship, you'll say no. The service learning requirement for your class, we don't consider it an internship. If you do submit the application and you realize afterwards you said, oh, I am, but you realize, oh, actually you're not, you can always shoot us an email to let us know, and we'll be able to change that for you on our side. And then we do ask which languages that you speak. This also helps us place volunteers at our campuses because we do have several campuses that have large non-English speaking populations. So it's always a plus when we can send volunteers there who can speak the languages. So just go ahead and fill that in. And then the emergency contact information, just in case something were to happen while you're volunteering, we like to make sure that we have emergency contact on hand so that we're able to make sure that you are okay and that you're getting any help and support that you need if an accident or something occurs while you're volunteering. So that's what this is for. And then the relationship of that emergency contact. And then this section is our policies and procedures. So these are the, again, just policies and procedures that all of our volunteers need to abide by to volunteer with us. If you click on the box here next to each one, it will bring up those policies and procedures for you so that you're able to read through them. And then after you've read through all of them, you'll be able to select I agree. And you'll need to say that for each one as you go through. The only one that you do not need to agree to is a photo release. So if you We do occasionally take photos of our volunteers working with our students and use them for promotional purposes, like when we're meeting with community members to show off the work that we're doing and to advocate for our students, or to advocate for our students on campuses. We'll show pictures of that. If you don't want us to do that with pictures of you, you're more than welcome to say that you do not agree, and then we won't use images of you in that kind of context. And then you will need to sign that you agree to the policies and procedures. So you'll just type your name and that will be your electronic signature. And then here is the consent for background check. We do background check all of our volunteers. So all of our volunteers do need to agree to be background checked. We don't share that information with anyone. That's all strictly confidential, so you'll just agree to that, and then you'll click Submit Application. So once you submit the application, you will get an application complete notification showing that you have successfully applied. That will have your application pop up in our system. This confirms that we did receive it. If you do not answer a required question or you answer it with an invalid code, you won't reach this page. You'll get a notification saying that you missed something, and it will tell you which field. So you'll need to just make sure everything is complete and review that information, and then keep going until you get this application complete page. You'll also receive a confirmation email at the email address that you provided, letting you know that your application was received and letting you know that your next step is to complete the new volunteer orientation. From here, you're able to just immediately log out, or you can go to the new profile that you created. So if you click Go to My Profile, it will show you your new volunteer profile. And this profile is the information that you've provided just on your application, so you can review that at any time with the account that you just created, change any information that you need to change, and just kind of look around here. But that is the application. So our new volunteer orientation will become available in your My Impact account the moment that you finish submitting the application. So I'm starting off here once again on the volunteer page of our website, cisnt.org/volunteer, to show you how you can access your My Impact login in case you're not able to view the orientation at the same time that you submit the application. So if for whatever reason you need to do the orientation a little bit later, you go to our volunteer page, and if you scroll down to the very bottom, there's this section called Better Impact Account Login, and there's the link right here to direct you to the login page for your My Impact account. And that will direct you to the My Impact page login, and then you will use the username that you created when you applied, so that account that you created with your application, that username, and then that password. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the information for the account that I just created. And then if you did forget your username or password, you can click here and it will send that information to you. Or again, you can always reach out to us at volunteer@cisnt.org in order to have us send that information for you. But we'll go ahead and click log in. And this directs you back to that My Impact account that I showed you at the end of the last segment of this video. So once again, you are able to review all of your information. If you go over here to this My Profile tab, you can review all of your contact information, all of the additional information that you provided on your application, and update that at any time. If you need to update your availability, though, don't use this availability option here. email us. That way we know that you've updated your availability. So let us know and we will do that for you. But for your new volunteer orientation, you'll go over here where it says training and you'll click here. And that will take you right here to your the training page where it shows the 6 modules for the new volunteer orientation. Now, again, if you volunteered with us for the fall 2020 semester, you do not need to complete this step. You only need to do the application. But if you're volunteering with us for the first time, either ever or for this school year, you will need to do the orientation. So you'll come right here. It will show you that your status is you need to take them for each of them. We did divide them into 6 modules so that you can complete them in smaller sittings if you're not able to sit down for the entire time that it takes. Overall, completing all 6 modules should take you about an hour. So you'll just click on the module that you want to take by clicking take right there, and it will direct you to this page where it will show you a video right embedded in the page. So you'll just watch the video. After you complete the video, each module comes accompanied with 4 questions that you'll need to complete to show that you understood the information in the video. So you'll go ahead and complete the questions. And then you'll click submit once you've chosen your answers. And then once you have done that, it will show you what your score is. So I got a 75% on mine. It will also let you know which questions that you got wrong. And then it will let you know whether you've passed or failed and need to retake it. So I've passed this module, completed it successfully, so I don't need to retake it. If you do need to retake it, you can retake it right away. You'll need a 75% on each section to complete the module. So you'll need to get 3 of the 4 questions right for each module. So then you'll have the opportunity to either go back to your home page, which will take you to that first page that loaded when I logged into my account, or to go back to your training list. So I'm going to go back to the training list. And as you can see now that I have completed the first section of the orientation, it shows that I have passed it. I am able to review my information, so I'm able to go back here, retake it if I want to. So if you want to review one of the videos, you can do that. And then it also shows that this does not expire. So once you've completed it, you are good to go. And so you'll just do that for each of the training modules. And then once that is, you've done all 6, you have finished the orientation. Step in our onboarding process. So the last thing that you will need to do before you can receive your campus assignment is to complete a background check. And so the background check company that we use is Sterling Volunteers. And so Sterling Volunteers will actually ask you to submit your own background check. So after you submit your application and complete the orientation, within 2 business days of finishing the orientation, we will tell Sterling Volunteers to send you a background check invitation. So that is going to go to your email. It's going to come from Sterling Volunteers, so it's going to come from the advocates at sterlingvolunteers.com. And unfortunately, just like with our emails, these do get filtered into junk a lot. So if 2 business days after you finish the orientation, you haven't seen it pop up in your inbox like it did with mine, check your junk mail just to see if it's there. If it's not, go ahead and let us know, and we'll see if we can't figure that out for you. But the email will come from Sterling Volunteers. It's specific. This one is specific to me. Yours will be specific to you. So it's going to let you know that we are inviting you to complete a background check. And that you need to do so within 72 hours of receiving the email. So you'll just go ahead and click on order my background check. and it will direct you to their website. And then it will ask you to verify your account. So you're just going to put in the email address that you provided on your application, and then the date of birth that you provided on your application. So I'm going to put in my erroneous date of birth here, the country, and then your postal code. And then you'll go ahead and click continue. And then it will ask you to create an account once it's validated your information. So just like with completing the volunteer application, you will create an account with Sterling Volunteers. So you'll select a username. I'm going to use the one that I made for my volunteer account, just to make things easier. And then it will ask you to provide a password, and it will let you know if your password is good or if it's not. So it's telling me that I have a weak password, so I guess I will go ahead and make my password a little bit stronger. And then it'll ask you to confirm that password. And then it will ask if you would like to set up security questions now. So I'm going to say yes. And then it will ask me to select security questions. So it's going to give you this big long list to choose from. So I am going to just go ahead and select a couple of security questions, provide some answers for those security questions. And then it's going to ask you to accept their privacy policy and their terms of use. If you click on these buttons, it will provide you with both of them for you to read. And then you'll select create an account. And then it will direct you to begin your background check. So it will let you know that we want you to be background checked. It'll show the information that you put here. It will ask you for your social security number. If you don't want to provide that, you don't have to. So just check this box that says no SSN if you don't want to provide that. And then it will ask for your gender, but you are more than welcome to select whatever that is. And then contact information. So it'll autofill with your email address, and then you can provide a phone number as well if you like. And then you'll go ahead and click continue. And then it will auto-populate with the home address that you provided on your application. So just review that, make sure that looks good. And then it's going to ask you how long you've lived at this address. So it's going to ask you to provide a year and a month. If you don't remember specifically, that's okay. You can kind of guesstimate. So I'm going to go back to, say, 2017. In July, and then it's going to say to present, and then it's going to, you'll just click continue once you've provided that. And then it'll ask you to begin your background check. So it's going to ask you to agree to their legal consent, acknowledging that you are allowing them to run the background check for us, and that they will provide the results to us for review, and that you have the ability to control all of that information. And then you're going to also check that you understand that by typing your name below, it constitutes as a legal electronic signature. And then you'll go ahead and type your name for your electronic signature. And then you'll go ahead and click continue. And then it's going to ask you to confirm that your information is correct. So then you click that. And then it's going down here to ask you if you would like to pay for your background check. So I want to make sure that this is very clear. You are not required to pay for your background check. This is not telling you that you need to pay. It's asking you if you would like to pay. So you are more than welcome to say, no, I would not like to, because we do pay for all of our volunteers' background checks. So while we really always appreciate when a volunteer pays for their own, we by no means expect it. So you can always say, not at this time. And then it's going to show you your order. It's going to let you know the price, but it's going to let you know that you do not owe anything. And then at the end, you will click Submit Order. Now, I am not going to do that in this video because I did not provide accurate information on myself for the purposes of showing you how to do this, but you will click Submit Order, and then you will get a confirmation number showing that your order has been submitted for search. So once you get that confirmation page showing your order number and that it's telling you that your background check has been submitted, that means that your background check has been submitted and you have done everything that you need to in order to begin volunteering. It may take a few days up to a week for your background check to process. And then after that, we will review your application and get you a campus assignment, or we will review your application and follow up with you if we have any additional questions. And so that is the background check, which is the last step. And just to reiterate, like I mentioned at the beginning, in order for us to make sure that we're able to get everybody their assignments in a timely manner, we do need you to submit your application and your orientation by no later than Friday, January 22nd, and you do need to submit your background check by no later than Friday, January 29th, for us to be able to provide you with your campus assignment the week of Monday, February 1st. And if you do any of these steps late, we will need to deploy you late, and it will probably take an additional several weeks for us to be able to process that information. Now, if you have any questions or concerns as you go through the process, you can contact us at any time. We are always here to help. I am always available to answer questions, and I love being able to make sure that our volunteers get through the process quickly and easily so they can start volunteering. So again, just email us at volunteer@cisnt.org. And then we will get back to you as quickly as we're able with answers to your questions, or we'll give you a follow-up phone call if we need more clarity. But we want to make sure you're able to get through all of this as fast as possible so you can have a great time volunteering.